Hey guys, welcome to KDLaunch. I'm joined today with Norris, Elaf, and Patrick, co-founders of Arkade and the Bulls NFT Bulls. How are you guys?
Good, good. Happy to be
Awesome.
here.
Wonderful.
Thanks a lot for joining me. Well, as everyone knows already, you guys are doing an ideal launch with us with KDLaunch, and so I think it's the perfect time to have you guys here and talk a little bit about yourselves, about the project, why you chose to do things the way you do. And so the first thing I would like to ask you guys is to talk a little bit about yourselves, your backgrounds, and why you came to develop on Web3 and on Kadena.
Cool. Who wants to start? I guess I'll start. Hey guys, my name is Norris. I am one of the co-founders with my other two co-founders here. We all have known each other for a very long time since we were kids. We grew up together, and we've all been within tech for the last few years, mostly within the Web 2 world, and have been in Web 3 for the last couple of years, which has been pretty cool. And we all kind of came together to start this project out of just sheer passion for both gaming, NFTs, and definitely, of course, crypto and specifically Kadena ecosystem, which we'll talk, more on here in a bit. But a bit about my background: I have been in product design development for almost 8 years now. Design actually since I was in high school, so over 10 years I've been a designer, and slowly got into teaching myself how to code, and then worked within some enterprise companies in Web 2, mostly in the education space and in e-commerce. And then I learned about the crypto space back in 2017 as an investor, and then got just super interested in the technology, started learning blockchain development, started out within Solidity, learned Rust, got into Ethereum, Solana, some other ecosystems, and then I came across Kadena, and I fell in love with the technology behind it and the community, and here we are. So
Nice,
that's a little
thanks.
bit about me.
Patrick, take the reins.
Go ahead, Patrick.
No problem. What's up, everyone? I'm Patrick. I'm also known as Snow in our Discord channel as like my alias. Fun fact about that alias: I made it in 2006 when I was in sixth grade. It's my gaming alias for like various forums for like Counter-Strike hacking, Diablo hacking, all these things growing up. So that's kind of was like my intro into development and coding. I used to hate my cursors on the screen, so I learned how to kind of code and look at properties and all those files and stuff when I was a kid. That ultimately led into me having an early interest into tech. Played sports and stuff growing up, so I kind of veered away from it. But once I became an adult, I fully indulged into like the Web 2 space with startups. I have two exits under my belt, one as a founding member, another one as an employee. So the entire world itself has just been very interesting to me, and I don't know, it's so exciting because you never know what new technology or what new news is going to emerge each day you wake up. So working in a space that's very high growth as well as like just constantly changing around so many like talented minds is awesome for us. And that's just kind of like a bit about me. I can go on this forever. I love games, I love tech, and I love memes. So the NFT and Web3 world is perfect for me.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And all right, I'll go ahead here. Elaf. I go by Kadi. Everyone knows me in the discords as Kadi. My last name's Elkadi. I don't have a cool story like Patrick with my alias. It's just the last four letters of my last name. I was introduced to crypto in 2017, similar to Norris, as an investor. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big two. Didn't really dive into the tech behind it, more just so like, hey, I can make money here. I'm about to go to college. Like maybe I could pay off some, student loans, right? And then when I got into college, I actually started to really, really dive into like the technology behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain technology, smart contracts, because I was studying computer science and mathematics. So it really, really pertained to my education. And then post grad, me and Norris reconnected, and he was working on a project on Luna, and I kind of shadowed the project and gained even more interest into NFTs and crypto, and I became even more involved with blockchain technology, and then was introduced to Kadena through various influencers on Twitter. started off as an investor, and then it pumped up to like $26 in October. And then I said, hey, there's something here, there's something tangible here. Let me study the tech. And like Norris, fell in love with it. The concepts made sense. They have such a experienced founding team, and since then, these last 7 months have been building what I think is the best community in all of crypto. So definitely happy to be here, privileged to be here.
And
So nice.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just to add to this, these two guys are Norris, especially. He was in my ear about just like this space for a very long time, and I wasn't a non-believer of it, but I was like, yeah, we'll see. And then Elaf, with his mathematics acumen, he sat down and was like, yo, you love finance, you love fintech, you love this. The Cadena founders are from JP Morgan. That like he broke it all down to me, and we kind of we sat down and we had like a full discussion about it. And I had like a very big interest in like fintech, especially that the whole splash, like embedded finance through Plaid and all that. So those two guys are a big, like they're the ones who brought me in and taught me pretty much everything that I know up to this point. So major kudos to them and shout out to them. But yeah, that's our origin story in a way.
Nice to know. And I think it's really funny that you guys are all coders. So I want to know, how do you guys view Pact in opposed to what you were used to, like Solidity or Rust? How do you find it? It's easier? Is it harder? Or what I've been hearing is that there's a kind of a learning curve, but then it's really good. What's your opinion there?
Right. So I think just like any other language, at least, more of a high level language, it's just like picking up any other language, really. You're just learning a lot of syntax, some different rules. But I think where the learning curve is a lot of the configuration, understanding how just the blockchain works within, like learning how to use Chainweaver, learning how to use, the module explorer, learning how to actually like submit and deploy a contract. I think all those configurations is where the learning curve is, really. So it's not necessarily the language itself. It's more, how do I create smart contracts on this specific network with these specific rules? They have a huge priority in updating the documentation. I think the documentation is more geared towards really strong developers. And even myself, with as many years of experience I have, I even struggled quite a bit with it. So I think there's also where the learning curve is there. But as far as security, I think it's unmatched. I really appreciate the ability to do to have like multiple keys, multiple signatures. I think that's really great. I think it's very readable as well. I do think someone who isn't an engineer or doesn't know Pact can come in and understand what's going on. I do really like the error handling as well. So that's been my experience so far. And also it is pretty cool to be able to go into the Discord and get immediate answers from the community. So that definitely helps with the learning curve. Is usually you got to go, search Stack Overflow and I mean, it's a double-edged sword, like being able to have so much information on YouTube, or at least with, the Cadena community, you can go in and get an answer like pretty quickly from someone, and someone could guide you directly. Where in, more established coding languages, it's more like, here's a resource, go figure it out yourself. Or here it's like, I get immediate help from other developers.
It's kind of like having more closed community, right? Everyone is trying to help each other out.
Yeah, right, step aside and go play some Billers, Norris, or what?
Yeah, right.
But just to piggy, he just grabbed one of the what's it called, sticks there. But to piggyback off of what Norris is saying, I haven't developed anything on Pact myself, but I do have that background in computer science, and whenever Norris does need like another set of eyes to look at the contracts, he'll ask me, and I like. The readability of Pact is up there with Python. Python's a very readable language as well. Yeah. My background's more in like very memory intensive languages like C++ and Java, where memory leaks they run rampant, and you can't really you can't go like let them go on the wayside, right? You don't have to worry about that with Pact from the experience I've seen Norris have with it. And I can very much attest to the readability side. So if someone doesn't have a programming experience, I always recommend that they go into Chainweaver, go into the Module Explorer, and just read through the contracts, because they'll get an understanding of what they're doing, what each function is doing, because of that readability. And I think that was really, really the strongest point of Pact when they were building it.
Okay.
Yeah, and same boat here. My experience is more so with like Java, Python, React a little bit, like that, those languages more so. I personally don't know Pact. Norris is the only Pact developer on our team at the moment. We all decided that because a lot of the things that we do, we'll rubber duck off one another. So it's cool that we all have tech backgrounds where we're able to like look at an issue, and while we might not necessarily understand it, kind of piggybacking off what Elaf said, it's very readable. So like we're all able to take like different languages and kind of like find a use case when we're discussing amongst Norris to find an issue. Like, can we do this? Can we do that? We know Pact doesn't have a randomization function, so we'll be like, okay, and then we'll start talking through solutions with that. So even though we don't know Pact like as well as Norris or some other people within the space, having the background that we all do in a technical like standpoint, we're able to really sit there and like work off one another with whether it's a big or small issue, which I think is very strong with our team. But yeah, just to conclude that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Elaf is like a algorithmic genius. I've always struggled with more high intensive algorithms. So I'll hit up Arkade, and yeah, he might not know how to code Pact, but he knows the fundamentals well enough where if I need help optimizing a function, he's my go-to. Be like, I'll just do this. Like, okay.
In the end,
he's just saying that so I buy him dinner. He's just saying that so I buy him dinner.
Wow.
No, but in the end, that's what matters, right? You even if you don't know how to write in Pact, the algorithms work the same everywhere, right? It's the logic behind it that matters. So that's cool to know that you guys speak each other's brains, right? And very, very, very cool.
Definitely, and luckily I've built enough connections within other spaces through the years from other blockchain devs who also they might not know Pact, but I can have them review some of my code and just the fundamentals behind developing on on the blockchain that they help me find solutions with too. So yeah, just speaking more on the readability of Pact.
Let's now move towards what you have already built and deployed, which are your NFTs, the Bulls. What made you launch the Bulls, and why did you go with Bulls, and why go with NFTs at all?
Right. Well, if you can see how the Bulls kind of resemble how Arkade looks, so that was that was our first first reason why. I'm just playing. The Bulls simply because we're bullish on Cadena, right? And we didn't see any Bulls there, so we thought that would be really, really cool. You should have seen the initial Bulls. They were kind of angry and stuff. We're like, no, we got to have more of a playful, fun vibe because we're all about having fun, right? So our intention from the beginning was to create a community where we can play games, have fun, integrate NFTs. We weren't exactly sure how we can integrate NFTs in the game and a token. We kind of figured it out as we went, learning from the community what they want, because NFT space is changing all the time. I mean, the crypto space is changing a lot. I mean, there was a point where, a year and a half ago, you can launch an NFT with no utility and, sell out, and people just liked it because of the art. But that has definitely morphed and changed, and being a part of a smaller community, we wanted to offer something, like I said, very fun, a strong utility, something that'll be there for a while. So we thought, games, regardless of where the market is, regardless of where NFTs are, people are always playing games, people are always having fun playing games, and we don't want to just build something that we just build and walk away from. We want something that we can enjoy as well, like a product that we would enjoy, bottom line. So we all grew up playing games, and we also understand the power of nostalgia as well. I mean, there's nothing like playing a game or watching an old movie or something like that that just brings you back to when you were a kid, where you didn't have the same responsibilities. Maybe you didn't have the same worries, depending on how you grew up. So we wanted to create, first off, the NFT project that resembled that, and brought back references from different pop culture throughout the years. So we have those three collections that we've shared from the beginning: the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And it's starting out pixelated 80s, 2D 90s, and then 3D early 2000s Bulls, that represent that natural progression through technology. And we're doing the same thing with our games as well. So we can definitely speak on the games here as well. But I'll let Kadi or Elaf or Patrick share as well, kind of why we did what we did.
And that's another big issue that you're seeing, is we never know what alias to call one another, because we were undone for so long. We were like, yeah, it's insane. I'll call him Kadi Elaf, but like we never know who to call who sometimes. But yeah, I'll add just a little bit, then Elaf can kind of mention some more. The Bulls itself, at that point, Norris and Elaf had already kind of chosen what they wanted to be. So I joined probably I want to say 2 weeks to a month into them already being the Bulls. A big reason that we decided to do an NFT project was building community. We knew we had larger ideas from being just an NFT project, but from the very beginning, we never wanted to overpromise anything. So we were like, let's build community. Let's take it a day at a time. Let's just see where this goes. Let's see what people like. And then depending on what people like, we will morph into something, or we'll find something that fits. So choosing an NFT project was a good start for us, because it allowed us to learn the ecosystem, build community, build our brand, build our fundamentals, figure out what we all do best. And then we can kind of build on top of there, which is now what everyone's seeing with the Arkade.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and just to close it out, I mean, we had been in the NFT space for, I would say, a year before we started ours, and the standard was grinding for a whitelist spot in Discord, which people have the time to do, some, but others don't, right? Other people have, jobs, other priorities, other responsibilities. So we understood that, hey, we want to make this NFT accessible to everyone. We don't want people to worry about getting a whitelist spot or not having enough time to enter the Discord and grind and send messages that don't really hold much weight, just like spam Discords. So, I mean, Norris and his software engineering background, he's the one that came up with the entire Arkade Discord authorization system, where our Arkade connects to Discord and it grants you a whitelist spot through playing games like Pac-Man, Tetris, Snake, games that we grew up playing, games that the learning curve is very, very minimal, that you can pick up and put down, and you don't have to relearn, right? So we added that fun aspect to earning a whitelist spot, and I think that's what really, really kind of separated our NFT project from others in the crypto space. And that's what we took, and that's what we're evolving into the Web3 version of playing these games and earning stars and then earning Arkade. So it's a very, very natural evolution, and it fits our entire ethos, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, man. I gotta. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
just to
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Speak a bit on that grind. I mean, I've been to a lot of NFTs projects as well, and I mean that's the worst, man. To have to just pretend to type something that you don't really want to type just to make the volume, right? I mean, it's just nonsense, and I'm glad that you guys found some better ways to reward people for actually using something that you built, right? So that's kudos to you. Go ahead, Norris. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. No. To add on to what you're saying is we want the product to be the focus, right? So why not, if you want to actually be a part of the community and hold one of our NFTs, you use our product, right? So you can literally get immediate benefit from just having fun and playing these games. And so far, actually, we've held 2 different Cadena Gaming Olympics where we've integrated with other projects to come in and play these games and earn rewards on projects that aren't even ours, right? And we actually have it set up where at this point, really anyone would be able to integrate. We haven't made it public yet, but anyone would be able to integrate the same type of Discord bot into their Discord and be able to earn rewards through playing games and earn whitelist spots through them as well. So that's more of a Web 2 product, if you want to label it like that. But definitely a lot of opportunity there too. And it's not even ecosystem specific. It could be anything. It could be in crypto, outside of crypto, and any Discord that you might have. You want to earn whatever rewards you want, just link to our bot and add points to your database. That's cool. You're good to go.
That's very cool. Yeah, nice to see that you guys are doing this way. And it's, as I said, very fresh, a breath of fresh air, so to say. Now, you've mentioned the 80s Bulls, then there's the 90s Bulls and the 20s, and you're building this whole ecosystem. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown of the whole ecosystem, and what's your vision for it with the NFT integration, the token, the games?
So yeah, we're really creating a gamified NFT experience all around, right? So like I had mentioned before, we really want the product to be the main focus, and our product right now are these games. So we want, first off, to be able to just create some really fun games that people will play regardless of whether or not they earn crypto, right? Regardless of whether it's, there are really any rewards, they're just playing just to play. But it's cool that there are rewards attached to it, and there's a lot of other utility attached to these games too. So yeah, priority right now is definitely creating these fun games. And then from there, you can earn stars within these games. And then those stars post IDO are going to be transferable to Arkade token. And then with that Arkade token, you could do lots of things. You can buy in-game assets. You can trade on our NFT marketplace. You can mint NFTs on our launchpad with Arkade as well. So we have several different NFT projects within the Kadena ecosystem that are using our technology to launch their NFTs. So you'll be able to mint with Arkade token, and then you can go onto the marketplace and use Arkade to buy these NFTs that will show up within your wallet. And then you are also, as an Arkade holder, will be rewarded for your activity in the marketplace. So the more that you buy, sell, trade on our marketplace, like I said, we're gamifying everything. The more you buy, sell, trade on the marketplace, the more you're going to be rewarded from our transaction fee. So part of our transaction fee, I believe Kadi has the numbers. Part of that goes back into a pool that will be paid out to Arkade holders, which is really cool. So then to come full circle, you use that Arkade, you buy an NFT, and you can get airdropped other NFTs if you're an Arkade holder, or you can get airdropped. We're going to do Arkade airdrops for NFT holders as well. And then depending on what types of NFTs that you hold, you can access different parts of the game, such as you can play as a different character within the Super Bowl game. You can unlock different levels, different tiers, if we do any expansion packs, depending on how many you hold. And then also, I guess this is some alpha. We haven't shared this at all, really. Badges. So you'll be able to earn different badges that will open you up to different sub communities within Arkade as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Let me know if I missed anything, guys. I believe I covered all the utilities.
You're not leaving anything for those guys, man. You're spilling out everything.
Yeah, right.
We made a chart actually. It's somewhere pinned on Twitter or in our Discord. It's definitely on the website, and I'm just trying to remember everything on that chart that we can do. But it's a very smooth flow of utility through our ecosystem.
And it seems like everything fits into the game everything else, NFTs. Right?
It's very
like
smooth.
It connects. That's cool.
So
it's
naturally,
under the Arkade umbrella. Yeah.
We want it to be seamless, frictionless.
It's like walking into a real life arcade.
Sorry, go ahead.
You play these hundreds of games, right? That you earn these credits, and then you take these credits and you can use them at like the gift shop, or maybe like
I remember going to the arcade getting those tickets, right?
Yeah, those long tickets, exactly.
Yeah, those long tickets.
So we're modeling it after a real arcade, and that's why we're
nice.
the arcade. Nice. But yeah, Norris covered most of the ground. We also have the wagering side, so like we have coin flip and roulette currently under maintenance. So if you were to earn Arkade within the game or within the other ways, the plethora of ways Norris mentioned, you can go and maybe try your luck at coin flip or roulette,
Gambling. That's something. That's something I think will attract crypto
wagering.
people.
Yeah, yeah. Degenerate wagering, right? And then
absolutely, absolutely.
you can take that arcade and use it across our entire platform, which is really cool.
Nice,
And
nice.
the wagering aspect is inspired by like bar and pub games that we all like Keno and things like that come up on devices. It's not actual casino right now. It's not functional. Just for any compliance issues out there, I have to mention it. I have to say it. Apologies. But also, I think one thing that we touched on briefly, but it's not really alpha. Some people know, some people don't. But we have a launch pad as well, where we actually bring up other projects with us and we help them different ways. Obviously, every package is different, but ultimately, we provide a minting platform plus marketplace integration, as well as a utility, which the utility might be some alpha. But right now, we're working out something where a lot of the people that we're launching, we're not necessarily how it's going to fit into it yet, but they're either going to be playable characters, maybe a villain,
Ooh.
maybe someone in the game to kind of help other projects. But we can bring people up with us, but they can also figure it out on their own. Like maybe they like
Nice.
gaming, maybe they find something fit, and it's much bigger than us. So it's like anyone that we help out through the launchpad, we're looking at other ways to incorporate and embed them into what we're doing in the ecosystem.
And you mentioned the launchpad, but something you guys haven't mentioned yet, which I think it's kind of cool, is that I think you have the first marketplace up and running, right, for NFTs. And I mean, this is something. Did it come up after you made the NFTs, or was it planned before? It seems like something that just spurred out on the
Right.
moment.
That's what it seemed, maybe publicly facing. But to be fair, Gainas, very low key project,
I have
but they're
a lot of
they're
Galinas. I have a lot of
genius
Galinas,
developers.
so I know.
Yeah. So they actually have the first marketplace. They just rarely do any marketing, but they've been a tremendous help. Them and Kitty Cat. So shout out Kitty Cat and Gainas. They are amazing. So they actually have a buy sell trade feature on Gainas, but they haven't integrated any other NFTs, and they didn't do like a traditional minting type of style thing. So we did model after them. We got some help from them, but we had been we had been waiting, first off, for me to really understand Pact at a deeper level before we went ahead and did that. So we didn't want to really create a huge promise and not be able to deliver. So we always had the intention, hey, we don't want just mint and disappear and not anyone be able to trade, because then it's going to lower the value. So we made it an urgent priority to get the marketplace up and running. And then once we did that, we were approached by several projects that needed help minting, and we already had Launchpad technology set up. So we thought, hey, we want to take on some trusted projects and help them integrate as well. So that's kind of how everything was born.
Shout out to Squiggy from Galinas. He's a cool guy.
Great people.
Genius.
Yeah.
He's
Genius.
Genius guy.
Yeah, and on this subject of building on Pact, and specifically on Marmalade, there's some confusion. Some people talking on the community that, well, we've heard that the standard is really not that set on Marmalade. What do you guys think of this, and how are you trying to tackle this issue?
Right. Good question. So, we've been waiting for Marmalade. It was one of the first things that attracted us really to the Cadena ecosystem, and for us to want to launch our NFTs on there as well. We read those two articles on Medium, and we were mind blown at the different possibilities with it. And as the team had been kind of pushing it back a bit for XYZ reasons, we kind of just took it into our own hands to mint without the Marmalade standard to begin. And as we had finished our mint, there was new information out like, hey guys, Marmalade is basically ready. So it was kind of bad timing there. But what we've decided to do at this point is, since Marmalade does not have yet all the features that we do want on there, we were working actually closely with Gainas and Kitty Cat, especially. Kitty Cat's kind of paving the way here. He actually has a public KIP on on GitHub for everyone that wants to look at it. And we do want to extend onto Marmalade some more features. So we will have a standard, I can't speak too much on because we're working out the details, but that will work hand in hand and complement
Nice.
Marmalade and add some additional features, which is really exciting. I believe this might be the first time anyone's publicly spoken about this, so there's some more alpha for you there. But
I'm loving it.
we're really
Wasn't
excited
expecting
about
alpha,
what's
and
to
I'm getting
come.
a lot.
We're really excited about what, yeah. And it's going to come fast, just like our marketplace kind of came out of nowhere. When we're quiet about something, we're working, we got our heads down, we're working really hard on it. So I really hope everyone's going to be very happy. And by everyone, I don't just mean the community members who are buying, selling, and trading these NFTs, but also the developers that are just so eager to create and build on the Kadena technology. So really excited for that.
We have we have a lot of those new developers coming in. So I think it's really cool to see you guys working together with other projects to make sure that the ones that are coming in. You mentioned some of you was working on Luna, and there's a lot of developers that were working on Luna, and now maybe they don't have a place to develop on, right? So it would be important that when they find Kadena, that there's this community and this kind of backup to support them to help them develop here. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you had anything to say, Patrick. I think you were going to say something about this.
Oh no, I was just saying very well said. I agree completely with Norris said. It was nice to hear and disagreeing with him. We'll crop
Okay,
that
now
part.
let's get to the main course that I wanted to talk about, which is your amazing game that you released kind of a teaser of it recently. It looks like a kind of a Super Mario game. You call it Super Bowl, right? So tell me about it. How did it came to be this game, and what's the point of the game and the idea behind it?
Please, one of you, I've been talking too much.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
yeah. Super Bowl is our in-house patented side scroller that we are modeling after the classic side-scrolling game we grew up with, whether it's like Mega Man or Super Mario. We did release the first trailer beta version on our Twitter yesterday, which is really really exciting. And yeah, we really set out to create a game that is going to be very very fun for our users, replayable, and it's going to, like, as we set out when we made the Bulls, it's going to take them back to the games they played growing up, right? It's going to bring that nostalgic factor of playing these fun games that don't require a heavy learning curve, don't require you to like learn new game mechanics. It's going to be a 5-button game, right? Dash, run, shoot, hit. Like it's very very simple and straightforward, right? And you'll be able to play and earn. So there's going to be weekly challenges that we set up within the arcade where you can go into Super Bowl, hit those challenges, earn stars, and then those stars will be tradable for the arcade token, which we're IDOing with KDLaunch in 2 weeks' time. And then there'll be other ways. There'll be Easter eggs within the game that you can discover with every time you play through it. There's going to be unlockable levels, unlockable characters, different enemies, right? And then we want to integrate the NFT traits as well. So if you own a bull that has like a cigarette in their mouth, you'll be able to apply that cigarette to the bull in game, right? So we really, really want people to play this game and feel as though it's their NFT in the game, and feel as though that they can play this game for hours on end and continue to discover new things and continue to earn and continue to have fun. So that's the goal we set out with the game. That's why we are arcade.fun. Like the fun aspect is what we care about the most. The earning aspect is just an added reward, right? So let me know if I missed anything, Patrick or Norris, but I think that that's kind of what we set out to create when we did create Super Bowl, and we're really really excited. This is only the first version trailer, by the way. There are so many other things that are going to be added, so many new features that we're going to release that we're like. I want to spill the beans right now, but I feel like we've given enough alpha.
Yeah, you've already given some decent
Yeah,
alpha,
so
so I'm not pushing there. I'm not pushing
holding back.
Can I just ask about the game? Did you decide on a side scroller right away, or did you have previous
Yes,
iterations where you were
Yeah.
thinking about other kinds
we
of
went
games?
with we were set on side scroller for our first iteration because we felt like
Yeah.
Okay.
just the way with our NFTs being pixel to 2D to 3D, starting off as a
Yeah,
side scroller just made the most sense.
it made sense. Okay.
Yeah, keeping it simple is just the most important thing of one of our core elements of our foundation. Anyone who's played video games know there's no bigger flex than having like your character with a rare item that's visible in game, and that's kind of how we're viewing the traits. We're not too sure of how the traits are going to stack yet, but also any game developer knows whatever the company sneak peeks you, that's never what the game kind of comes out to be. So the possibility is endless with how many ways we can take this thing, and our ideas are always flowing with it. Whether you're playing like I don't know if you played WoW or RuneScape or anything, but in WoW,
I played
BlizzCon used
well.
to go on quite often, and people used to go to BlizzCon and get these rare mounts. So people would pull up in game with
Hmm.
like polar bears, and you're like, "How did you get a polar bear like on
Yeah,
fire?"
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just like that. Like, don't quote me on that, but that we're kind of taking that same exact like that inspiration and embedding it in there where someone can play our games for 8 hours and they're like, oh, I didn't know you had a one-on-one NFT because their bull might have a trait from a one-of-one that no other bull in the game has. And they'll share screenshots and things like that. So these are just small things that we kind of like bounce around one another and keep kind of up our sleeve. But yeah, like a side scroller game has been what we wanted to work on because we don't want to overpromise anything, as we mentioned before. And it's really hard to mess up a side scroller game. Like,
Okay.
don't quote me on that, but you know.
And maybe this is a bit early in this stage, but are you already thinking like on a saga, like Super Bowl two, or is it too early to think about that?
Yeah, we hinted at it in the white paper actually that the way that the Bulls evolved and the way that we're evolving as a company is the way the game is going to evolve as well. So we're going to start off as a side scroller game with the foundations of the mechanics that we're all very very familiar with, and we think that's the core uh, element for mass adoption. So if we want to bring in new people to Cadena, bring in new people to crypto, we don't want the learning curve to be too intensive, right? And I say this on every call. You just have to look at some of the most popular games today are Candy Crush and Minecraft. At the core, both of those games are some of the most simple games, some of the most simple mechanics, right? And that speaks to how powerful simplicity can go, right? And how the human mind can take these simple elements and just run with it. Uh, so we do want to start off with our feet grounded with this side scroller game, and then slowly evolve to maybe a 2D game similar to like the Crash Bandicoots of the
Mm,
PlayStation One era, where
love that.
your vision kind of shifts from just a side scroller to like a 2D ahead vision, right? And then to like a
Yep.
3D game. So that's the goal. Very very early development. We're very focused on the side scroller game and perfecting it,
Of
making
course,
sure
yeah.
it's audited, making sure there's no exploits because there is the earning aspect. So we want to make sure like security is of the utmost importance when we're building the game. So we're going to have it audited. We're going to have beta testers. Some of those beta testers will be people from the IDO that we want to, reward for being early.
Of course,
Some
yeah.
of our holders, we want to reward them for their support. So that's really our main focus. But long-term vision, we do want to iteratively build this game up to something more than just the side-scrolling aspect.
Cool. And can I just ask something that you mentioned there? You mentioned Candy Crush. Are you planning on having it playable on mobile as well, or just computer for now?
Right. So, I mean, that really depends on where different, I guess, third-party softwares such as CADX with X Wallet, how we can integrate on mobile there, right? Because we will need some type of system to be able to connect to the blockchain there. Otherwise, in the beginning, it would just be you can earn stars, and then you'd have to go onto desktop to trade in
Yeah.
those stars for Arkade. So at the moment, it would be mobile compatible, but simply through your browser. It wouldn't be an actual
Okay,
app on the
makes
App
sense.
Store, especially because there are a lot of regulations right now through Apple and the Google Play Store, the App Store and Google Play Store to be able to actually earn on these games at the moment too. So we want to make sure we abide by those standards that they set, and not kind of tiptoe around anything,
Yeah.
and make sure we're good. So it's not as easy as people think. It's just like, oh, when
Yeah.
mobile, it's like there's a lot of moving parts. Like we can do it tech wise, but
One mint, man.
as far as those two things, yeah, no, as far as those two things is one, the regulation, and then two, actually being able to create a seamless experience to connect to the blockchain.
Yeah.
That's just not there yet.
It's still early days for Cadena. We don't even have a way to connect to dApps on mobile. So I have a feeling that's
Right.
not far away, but let's wait and see, and then we can all start integrating on mobile for sure.
And for
Right. Actually, someone's found a way
Yeah,
Kiwi
to mint
browser.
Kiwi
and connect. I
Kiwi
don't remember
browser,
what
Kiwi browser.
browser. Kiwi browser, yeah. So I was
I
surprised
tried it.
that someone was able
telling
to,
you.
to trade
Yeah,
on our
yeah.
marketplace on mobile.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
also on our dApps, that you just you because Kiwi allows you to install Chrome extensions. That's fun, but I
Yeah.
think more native solutions are coming, like not
100%.
in the distant future.
Yeah.
So that should be a new wave of people
Nice.
finding Cadena and coming in for sure.
So, so you're saying you got
I'm
some
not
alpha
saying
for us? Is that what
anything.
you're saying?
I'm just this is just speculation. We're just
Where's the
speculating, man.
quid pro quo? We give
All right,
alpha, you give alpha, right?
For now, it's just speculation.
Let me check
So
the upcoming projects
yeah.
again.
Right.
sorry, I didn't understand. Sorry.
I said I have to check the KDLaunch upcoming projects again. I got to see what you guys have up your.
No, not on KDLaunch. It's not on KDLaunch. Anything yet? You mentioned having like certain characteristics of the NFT inserted into the playable character, but will people be able to use their actual NFT as a playable character eventually?
We've talked about it.
It's a hard
It's a really
question
hard
to answer.
question.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned we can kind of crop it, then we'll touch on a little bit. We've because there's 1980 total characters, and that doesn't even include traits. So when you start calculating the traits, all the characters and stuff, that's a pretty that's a very heavy thing to upload into a game server database. And it's not that it's impossible. It's just more so like we're like, even though we can maybe offer that down the line, are we shooting ourselves in the foot promising this too early? After, we need to see how the traits work out, and then we need to see how the natural progression of things, tech, our company, everything works out before we start promising that. But it is something that we really want to do. It's just something that I'm not sure if we can promise that we can do it yet, because there's
Yeah.
a lot we need to see.
Maybe you can talk to Cat Cars guys. They're doing something there, and I think they're onto the right tracks. Maybe use that connections to see if they have something there, because that it would be cool. But of course, you cannot promise something that it's so hard to speculate right now. Um, but yeah, let's see how it goes. And having certain trades is already pretty cool, because that's kind of the goal of, as you said, playing the game. You want to have that special trade that no one else has, and
Yep.
that's cool already, as it is. So to finish off, I like to ask the guests kind of more broad questions about the space. How so? You guys started building NFTs, right? And you mentioned you've been in NFTs projects for a long time as investors. So how do you see the NFT space in general throughout crypto? Do you think it's in a healthy state, or do you think it has a lot of maturing to do yet?
Um,
I think it's done a lot of maturing since, especially this year. I would say over the last like 8 months, especially since the kind of, the market kind of took a turn where I think it was very possible. I believe I mentioned this earlier. where a year and a half ago, you can launch simply a PFP project with some decent art and make $3 million and sell out a collection. Where now I think people's BS meter is higher than ever, and they know where a project may or may not go. They can speculate a lot better. They look for more certainty within these projects. They look at I think there's a lot more attention paid to who's the team, what utility are they offering, where are they going more long term. So I definitely think things have taken a turn. People are becoming a lot smarter, and I think it's really fun to see all the different creative solutions that people have come up with for different utilities, or how they can integrate even cross chain. I think what the coolest thing is, in my opinion, are the projects that are launching cross chain. They're doing multiple chains, and they're finding ways to integrate them and reward across, kind of bringing unity to the whole NFT ecosystem. I think that's very special, in my opinion. So yeah, to answer your question, I think people are looking for higher quality projects and stronger communities now more than ever.
And I agree with Norris. I'm new to kind of a lot of this world. These guys have a lot more experience than me, but kind of from what I saw when I entered the world was it seemed like the people who tried the hardest didn't do as well as the people who just rolled some BS out, and people are like, okay, whatever, like it's the next Dogecoin. And I feel like we've gotten past that because a lot of people FOMO'd in due to Bored Ape and things, and like some of these other projects of what they did, and they're like, oh, why not? Like, I'll buy this for $200 and maybe it makes me 2 million in a month. I don't know. But now, as Norris mentioned, people's BS meter are higher than ever. I'm not necessarily saying that I think NFT projects need better KYC or need to KYC in general, but I will say that, like with us, we started off as an NFT project. We stayed true to our roots. We love NFTs. We have more collections coming. Shout out to our marketplace and everyone building. But it's really cool to see when a project is using an NFT to bootstrap a larger vision, kind of similar to what we did. And I think the communities are becoming more and more. They want to see that more. And even if you're just doing art, they want to know who the artist is because they want to know your story, because it's art at the end of the day. So again, I'm not saying, oh, NFT projects need to be KYC, not financial advice, all that, but what I am saying is I think that it's in a very healthy place and there's a lot of room for new projects and growth. But as Norris mentioned, people are kind of looking for quality projects because they're done FOMOing in on they're not done on it, meme project necessarily. People are just more receptive to them, and it's harder they have to build community first before they can sell, versus just popping up with a 10,000 collection of JPEG Pepsi can. It's hard.
I think one of my favorite things that like use case for NFTs in general is just the authorization aspect. It's so simple, right? Where a few years ago, even before SSO, wow, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. I've integrated login with Google a million times, but single sign on. Even before that, it was like sign up with your email, get a verification code, input that, and then now you have an account. Now some softwares, they do both. They do both that and log in with Google, right? And that's made it simpler. But now it's really just one button: connect wallet. Check, do you have an NFT there? If it's there, it's so much more seamless now. So I think that's really exciting. When you are connecting to a marketplace or a game, you don't have to sign up with 15 different fields to be able to play, collect, earn, trade, whatever it is. So I think that experience, I've seen projects just use their NFTs for that purpose solely. It's just an authorization aspect. I think is really exciting.
Kind of like a pass, right, to some higher services that they can offer.
Yeah, like
right. It's like
proof
a membership.
that you own a digital object. It's cool. It's like it's super. It's a very satisfying feeling to be like, okay, yeah, I own this. Like, this is in my wallet. I own this.
Yeah,
people can take it from me, but it's very hard to take this from me.
Exactly. Anything you want to add there? As a last...
two guys covered it very well.
They said it all.
Yeah, I mean, it is still in its infancy because we have so much that we like uncharted territory that hasn't been explored, such as in-game integration, which is going to come sooner than later. And we see growth across crypto is exponential. one or two projects do it right, and then everything it's a copycat environment where the ones that do it right just kind of trailblaze and set the path for everyone else to follow. And you'll see that with NFTs. You see it with DeFi projects, dApps. So there's a very synergistic flow within the world of cryptocurrency, including NFTs. So once you do see more NFT projects coming into the space, offering real world utility, real world use cases, um, adoption on an enterprise level, then I think that mass adoption is going to come, and that's not even including regulation in the United States, which has yet to come. So once that comes, we're going to get even more retail investors that are wary right now because of all of the scams that have happened across cryptocurrency that have kept them away. So it's still in its infancy, and I still think there's a lot of room to grow. But as Norris and Patrick were saying, we've seen so much growth in the last year and a half, and I think it's going to speed up more than it's going to slow down.
Yep. And one thing to add to that, as Elaf mentioned regarding integration, in just kind of like the regulations in the US, that's a big reason why we opted to keep stars, because we need some form of buffer, right? Like there needs to be a buffer between play and earn, and there also needs to be a buffer from in-game content. So it's like someone might find and this is just, I don't even know if this will be in the game. This is not alpha, but someone might pop open a treasure chest and find like 10,000 Arkade tokens, right? Um, well, we can't necessarily do that because that's a little too direct, and that's a huge place for exploit. So having that buffer of stars for Arkade is something that we really had a deep discussion on. And as much as we wanted to go like, okay, let's just transform over, having that buffer between the two really opens us up for, I want to say, a more universal experience, which a little bit alpha. It opens us up to a more universal experience that we are able to do in-game content, do things within our ecosystem, and maybe even outside of that as well. So it's just something that we're very optimistic of the future, and we're super excited because we haven't thought about all the use cases, but we've really sat down and thought about so many different ways we can take it, and each path is leading us to where we are now. So it's just super exciting, and I couldn't be happier to be working with these guys and have you guys on launching us and hosting us as well with the token. It's super fun.
Okay, guys, love to hear the optimism about the NFT space and your project as well, of course. So I think this kind of concludes our talk today. If you guys have anything you want to share with the community, you can tell us where to go to find Arkade, either Telegram, Discord, Twitter. We'll add the links on the bottom. And yeah, anything you want to share, just go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I want to add on to, Patrick's gratitude here. Like we are super grateful for our community, for the support, both from from our users, and fellow builders as well. And everyone offering help on many different fronts, whether it's marketing, collaborations, dev work, whatever it is. We definitely wouldn't have been able to build as much as we've built without all of that. And I mean, this has just been so much fun. Like we're really just scratching the surface of the surface of the surface with all of this. It's still so early, right? And yeah, just super grateful.
Appreciate you guys at
KDL
as well. You guys are amazing.
Likewise, man.
You guys have been some of the best partners we've had in the space. And yeah, I echo Norris' sentiment. Everyone we've worked with within Kadena has been nothing but helpful and supportive. And we want to repay everyone for their support. That's the reason we're doing the launch pad, because we want to see the growth of Kadena. And we're really, really excited to see where it goes in the next 6 months to a year and even further. So again, appreciate all the support. We're always in Discord mainly. So I run the Twitter. So if anyone is on Twitter, wants to, reach out, always DM us on Twitter, Discord, feel free. What's up, Patrick?
Sorry, I had to raise my hand now that you can see me. Check out our Discord channel as well. We have two. You can launch a project with us in Launchpad. You can apply for it seamless as ever through our Airtable if you're interested in doing a project with us. From everything that we mentioned, and if you want to partner, collab with us, or just shill who you are and what you're doing, we have an option for that too. So check out partnerships and Launchpad in our Discord channel and arcade.fun for our website.
Awesome, guys.
Swipe up. No, I'm playing, but yeah.
So, Norris, Patrick, and Elaf, thanks a lot again for being here. I'm really excited for the launch and for everything you're bringing. I think you're doing a lot of good things for the Canadian ecosystem as well. So, thanks for that. Thanks for being here and joining me in this conversation. And we'll probably do this again after the launch. Let's wait a few months and come back here to see where you guys are at and what news you have. I mean, you guys like sharing alpha here. I'm good with that. So let's do this again soon.
Thank you,
Okay?
Afonso.
Okay, for everyone else, see you guys, and thanks for watching.